So we have a circle over here, and I gave you some information about the circle. So first thing we have is SP, line SP, is tangent to the circle, right over here, which means it hits the circle at one point, point P. Measure of angle SPO is 81 degrees. So this over here is 81 degrees. Measure of angle POQ, POQ right over here, is 32 degrees. Measure of arc, and this thing over here means arc, OM, right over here, would be 84 degrees. Measure of arc, again, LN, right over here, is 25 degrees. And then measure of arc LO is also 84 degrees. Okay, so now that we have all these, I have two things I need you to find. Two measurements. First, I want you to find the measure of angle NSL, which is right over here, this angle over here. And I'll mark that in red. And I want you to find the measure of arc MQ right over here. Okay. So the measure of angle NSL, what we would do is there's a theorem where the measure of, and I'll just call this angle 1, or you know what, I'll just call it angle theta. Measure of angle theta would be equal to 1/2 the measure of the major arc right over here, which is the OM, which it kind of intercepts, kind of. So measure of arc OM, which is the major arc, minus the minor arc over here, which is LM. Measure of arc LM. And now we can find this measure of angle theta because we already know what OM is and what LM is. We have it right over here. OM and LM. So 1/2 times, in parentheses, OM, mark the measure of arc OM, which is 84 degrees, minus ln, which is 25 degrees. 1/2 of this, theta equals 1/2 of 84 minus 25. Let's see here, let's do this. 84 minus 25. 8, 7. This would be 14. This would be 9. This would be 5. So this would be 59 degrees. And now 1/2 of 59 degrees, just 59 over 2, just one division. And you should get 29.5 or just 29.5 degrees. So theta, or measure of angle NSL, is 29.5 degrees. So we found that. Now we want to find the measure of arc MQ. Now you might be wondering, like, how do we do this? But it's very simple. All you have to do is you already have a lot of the arc measures over here. You have OM, OL, LN, and now we want to find all these other ones. So first what we're going to do is I'm going to find this whole arc measure over here, OP. Now, this whole thing would be, OP would be the 2 times the angle SPO over here, because SPO circumscribes this major arc over here, OP. So OP, 2 times the measure of angle SPO, which we already know is 81 degrees, would be OP. OP would just be 81 times 2, which would be 162 degrees. So OP is 162 degrees. We have OM. The only thing we need to find in order to find MQ is to find PO. So now that we have, so we need PQ. PQ would just be 32 degrees times 2, right? Because the measure of angle POQ, the point sits on the circle, which means it's half the degree measure of this arc over here that it circumscribes. So it'd just be 32 times 2, which would be 64 degrees. So now that we have PQ as 64 degrees, and we have all these other arc measures, we can finally find MQ. So MQ, measure of arc MQ, would just be 360, because 360 degrees are in a circle, minus all this. So we have OP, arc OP, which we found was 162 degrees, and obviously we'll put this in parentheses, plus the measure of arc PQ, which we found to be 64 degrees, plus OM, which is 84 degrees. And now we would solve. Okay, so 162 plus 64 plus 84. You'd get 2 plus 4, which is 6, plus 4 is 10. Carry the 1. 1 plus 6 is 7, plus 6 is 13, plus 8 is 21. 2 plus 1 is 3. So we have 310 over here. Now, this would mean that this is all 310, so measure of arc MQ would be equal to 360 degrees minus 310 degrees, which is just 50 degrees.